starting to get there now. Just pushing it out ever so slightly. So I need to just take out a little bit more, just to make sure that slips in and out okay. Take the bark off. I'm quite happy with the size of it. There's the blade, so it fits in there quite snug. Right, so what I've done is I've taken a lot of the excess off, and now I'm just going to carve it down into sort of like the shape that I want. To house the knife. So I'll do one bit at a time, see how we get on. So as you can see, I'm starting to get there, taking the meat off the wood. But so I'm quite impressed with it so far. But the only thing is the time's getting on now. I've just made a mistake with the with my knife. Good job it's sharp. And as I was drawing it towards me, I'm rushing a bit now because the evening's drawing on. I want to get my dinner on. Obviously, I've made a mistake by sticking the knife in my thumb, so I think it's a bit of a call now for me to stop today and continue with the project tomorrow. So we'll leave it at that for now. Well, it's about 8:30 in the morning. Had a cup of coffee, and I thought what I'll do is get back on with me wooden sheath. Start taking some more meat off it. Right, so I'm quite chuffed with the outcome of my sheath so far. So used a piece of alder, and lucky enough I had my little sort of 16mm auger, so I drilled a hole into the auger. Myself and Dave removed it because we couldn't do it on my own, trying to get it out, but I got it out. And then basically what I've done is I've shaped it out using my my little spoon knife to get that sort of rounded slot there. Took all the meat off on the outside, shaped it up how I want it to, and then obviously my Opinel knife sits in there, enough of it just protruding out the top there, so I can obviously grab hold of it with my with my fingers. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to give it a good sand down, and then the plan is what I'm going to do is I'm going to bind it. I've got some artificial sinew, so I'm going to bind it with some artificial sinew, and then finish it maybe with a bit of paracord, I think, on this first one. And then I'm going to actually have a go at making another one, because it's a nice little project to sort of have a go at yourself. You know, if you're still on sort of lockdown, it's another one of them sort of shed projects, as it were. But I'm quite pleased with it, and it'll actually, if you can imagine, when it's finished, it will kind of sit there. It's not too bulky. I'll probably burn some nice patterns in it so it sort of matches the so it kind of matches the knife, makes it kind of tribal, as it were. Grrr! So what I'll do now, I use some Abranet. Okay, this is great stuff if you don't know about it. It's basically like an abrasive pad, and it comes in different, obviously different gauzes. And the benefit you have over using this stuff compared to say sandpaper or such like is the fact that when it's got low, when it kind of fills up, when the mesh fills up, you literally give it a flick and it comes out, and it lasts longer. And I've had some of this stuff for, especially the heavier one, I've had for sort of like quite a long time, and it really pulls the grain out as well when you start, you know, if you go from the heavier one just to get them, you know, the sort of the bits and pieces off, and then go and start moving on to the lighter sort of abrasive grades, it kind of draws out the grain. So this is what I'm doing now with my with the sheath, just giving it a nice rub down, make it smooth it up. Dave's got some this bear, what's it called? Fat bear sort of leather care. It's a bit like the old sort of Swedish summer, you know. And I actually rubbed some on my knife, and it's got that smell of Swedish summer. It's a gorgeous smell of that sort of pine tar sort of smell. So I'm going to give it a little stain with that as well, just to darken the wood up ever so slightly. And then every time I've got it around my neck, I'll be able to smell Swedish summer, and it kind of, that smell does remind me of Sweden. And then, as I say, I'm going to bind it with some with sinew, artificial sinew that I've got, and then I'll finish it off with some paracord, which I don't really think I've got the paracord here to finish it off. So that'll be to finish it off. That'll be something to do at home. But I'll keep you guys and ladies, if there are any ladies that watch the channel, I'll keep you people, you know, in commentary and the process of it so far. If you manage to get. Right, so Dave's lent me some of this fat bear leather care. I mean, the smell of it is, it's gorgeous. Smell that. Smell it. It smells of pine tar, doesn't it? Absolutely lovely. So what I'm going to do now is just sort of just going to rub a bit on the actual wood, just to sort of stain it up a bit, and I'll get that smell of Sweden every time I wear it. So darken it up ever so slightly. So I'll rub some of that balm on it, and it's just ever so slightly darken the wood. Not a great deal, mainly at the top and the bottom, and that just give it a nice protection. It's just, as I say, it's got that lovely smell. Is it me the only one that likes it, or is there other people out there that like it too? It's absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous it is. And then to finish it off, Dave said to put a bit of like olive oil on it, because that helps, or you know, something just to give it that little bit more protection.
It's nice. Let that sink in for a bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a couple of minutes.
Yeah. So yeah, there we go. Slowly getting there, folks. And now just rubbing a tiny bit of olive oil over the wood.
Is that it coming out alright? Yeah, just like, I think it's just a bit of extra protection, isn't it? The beauty with something like that is that you're not going to get it, it's not like a spoon. You know, when you oil a spoon up, and you use it and give it a wash, all the fibres come out.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that.
With this it ain't going to, is it? Yeah, sort of. Yeah, so there we are, folks. I'll leave that for a few minutes, just let it soak in a little bit, and then go on to the next phase. Right, so I've got some artificial sinew, so I'm going to start by binding it on the bottom of the sheath, just to hold it together. We'll see how we get on with that, eh? Never used it before, so that'll be interesting. Not really sure how to go about it really. Shall I just sort of do it that way?
Yeah, when you do that binding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do it that way.
That's it, and when you get to the top you put it underneath.
Put it underneath and pull it through, yeah. That's how I'll do it. So let's try it.
Let's go the other side.
Right, I'm going to stop the camera here because you ain't going to want to see me fiddling and all the rest of it, so I'll come back to you just so I get it all sort of going. So right, literally I've started it now. Just wraps it round, keeping it quite tight. It escapes me what that technique's called, but you know the one where you loop it through and then the trailing end will go through there. It's a bit like hanking, isn't it? So I'll cut that trailing end off. Bear with us a sec. I mean, I've never worked with sinew before, and this is obviously artificial stuff anyway. It's quite waxy. So obviously now what I'm doing is passing the trailing end through the loop. A bit like taking off a bra almost when you was a youth. Or putting one on if you was a female. And then pull it through there. And that's holding it quite tight there now, so I can just cut off the excess that end, throw it away. Right, cut the excess off that end. So there we go. That's the bottom of the it attached. I would like to use a bit of leather thonging. But unfortunately I'm not wearing leather pants today, so I'm just wearing polyester ones. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm probably just going to use a piece of paracord, but the next one I make, I think I'm going to really keep it sort of tribal and you know, sort of go with sinew, or I might even make some natural cordage actually. That might even be nice as well, and then have it so that obviously I can wear it around my neck. So we're at that stage now. And I suppose I'm going to spoil the ambience of it by using paracord, but you know, for the first one it's quite good. I mean, who knows, when I get home, when I get back to my man cave, back to my shed and all the rest of it, I might sort of you know, do a little bit of carving on it, burn into it or something like that. Or for the first one I might just leave it as it is, and do a better one when I get home. So I'll come back to you just to show you this final bit with the paracord on. All right. Right, so what I've done is, rather than wrap paracord around the whole thing and still keep it reasonably tribally, if you like, what I've done is I've put the paracord around the outside, and then using the sinew, using the same technique as we did on the bottom, to obviously slowly incorporate the paracord with the artificial sinew, to obviously then be able to utilise it as me as kind of like, you know, to be able to wear it as a neck knife, as it were. Alright, so slowly binding it up like so, without getting it all tangled round. So I'll report back to you in a sec, folks. Well, what happened was, the loop, I got all the way to the end, put it through the loop, and then as I pulled it, it slipped the whole lot through. So I've got to go back to the beginning. I've got to unwind it all and do it all again. So, in the words of Homer Simpson. Right, folks, so there it is. The first wooden sheath. how's the Opinel number 8. So nice little project to do again. So there you go.